Our lesson this coming Sunday, February the 2nd, is entitled, What About People Who've Never Heard About Jesus? And we're going back now to the book of Romans that we started in earlier in the quarter, but we're coming back now for this special lesson, and we're going to look now at chapter 1, verses 16 through 25. But now notice, Sunday school teacher, a very interesting thing. We're not going to deal with the verses in the sequence that they are there, they're going to reverse it. So we're going to look at verses 18 through 25 and then come back to verses 16 through 17. When I first saw that, I thought, well, what in the world? And then I understood what the curriculum writer is doing. For verses 18 through 25 show us the need of human beings because of their sins, and verses 16 and 17 that precede them actually then give, in other words, the evidence of the gospel, which is God's grace of forgiveness. So our need of our realization of sin precedes, in other words, our accepting salvation. So first of all, the lesson wants to deal with our crisis in our sin and then the salvation. So in other words, if we don't know our need, we probably won't accept God's grace. But the issue is here, what about those people who've never heard about Jesus? Listen, I had that asked of me every semester for 10 years when I was a university professor at Baylor University, my alma mater, where I taught for 10 years in the religion department. I guarantee you every semester there'd be some student, well, Dr. Tolar, how about that poor innocent person living off there in northern Siberia that never heard about Jesus? And I just said, well, what about them? I just said, they will be judged according to their response to the light that they have about God's existence. And Paul argues in Romans that God has revealed himself to mankind through the created order, through the human conscience, and other ways like that, and they are accountable for what they've heard. They're not lost because they rejected Jesus. They're lost because they have rejected the light that God has given them, and they've chosen sin or wrong. I said, but before you get too sentimental on that sweet, innocent person from Siberia, bring that person in to me and let me meet them that's never lusted, never been greedy, never been selfish, and never done anything wrong that they believe to be right. Bring me that person who's lived up to what they believe to be right, who's never violated their own sense of right or wrong. I know people that believe in that don't believe in cheating, but they cheat. People that don't even want to lie to them, but they lie. People don't even live up to what they believe to be right. They don't reject what they believe to be wrong. We are condemned because of our rejection of light. Now, so otherwise, if people were lost by rejecting Jesus and were saved by not knowing him, then don't send Jesus into the world so that no one would know him and everybody be saved. That's absurd. That's absurd. So they're not lost because they reject Jesus. They're lost because they rejected the light of the knowledge of God, and Jesus came to rectify that and make us right with God. So don't turn it around and make it look like that, in other words, that Jesus is wrong or that we are wrong in that way. No, you're not at all. So let's look now at